All right, so for this week's activity, we're going to be doing a photo collage. If you've ever seen a photo collage, it's where you take a whole bunch of pictures and you put them all together into one. Maybe back in elementary school, back when there were magazines, you could actually cut pictures out of magazines and then glue them onto one particular paper so you'd have one idea. But for us, we're all digital now, so we're going to do this on a computer and using Pixlr. So lots of topics you can pick. It's entirely up to you what you choose to do. I'm going to go with Tom Brady here. Hopefully there's no pictures of him naked on here. And we're going to go through and find some pictures, and we're going to throw them on there. And it's very similar to what you did, by the way, with the images that we colored. And I think this is probably one of the more popular pictures of them that's been going around the web that I've seen. So I'm going to take and for you guys, that was an alt click on this, and then go to Save Image As. And that should drop in your downloads folder. Notice it says save as MI4G5. Oh God, you'll probably never find that. So the best thing to do, and I'm just going to call this TB1 is what I'm going to call it, so that way I can find it easily when I go to import these. So we're going to go with that one. I'll pick one of him when he was with the Patriots. That's kind of a funny looking expression on his face. And I'm just going to get a few of these. And actually, that was already called Tom Brady 1, but that's not keeping with my orderly thing here. So we're going to call this TB2, so that way I can be organized. Let's take a look. Get another picture here. I'm just going to do 3 of them so you get the idea. And then from there, you're going to be doing 10 total is what you're going to have. But I'm just going to do 3 just to get you started. And go TB3. All right, so those 3 pictures are currently in my downloads folder. So now I'm going to go to Pixlr. Helps if I spell it right. And same thing as last time, you're going to go to the advanced photo editor. The difference on this one, though, is going to be we need to do like some regular old pictures. So if I start up into this, there's an option for you to open image and then load URL. There's also an option for a simple collage, to where you could throw some things together. And, I hadn't anticipated doing this with you, but yeah, this looks kind of fun actually. So maybe we will. So let's try the simple collage, and I'll use this template here. And then it's got a place for a photograph right there to drop in there. So in order to get the picture, I could go and then insert an image, which is my guess on how I would do this. And in order to do that, you're going to go to add image as a layer. So it's not an open like you would think. It actually is under layer. So when I go to do this, remember I called my pictures TB1, 2, and 3. So let's get this particular picture in here. And I'm going to resize this a little bit so that way it fits. I actually may want to crop it a little bit too, because there's kind of too much going on over here. Because that's exactly the size that I want, but I want to minimize that. I want to crop it just a bit. Now, the cropping tool on this is right here. So when I click on this cropping tool here, I can squeeze this down. Whoops, we're doing the whole image here. I don't want to do that. Okay, let's not crop this image. Let's just leave it the size that it is. You'll notice on the right-hand side here where it says layers, you'll see there's a big frame, and then there's a TB1 image. This image is showing up on top of everything. So when I go to move this around, and if I move this image, like say here, okay, now let's see if I can crop this. Now it wants me to crop the whole thing. I don't want to do the whole picture. That's a little bit frustrating. So I guess I will just have to resize this and make it fit. That's the trouble with doing templates, is sometimes you don't get as much control as you want over the image. And it looks like this picture actually might do a little better here. And let me also turn off, it looks like this is a fixed size, which I don't want. So when we go to the free aspect ratio here, now I can do a little more things with this as far as resizing this, as far as narrow or shorter, et cetera. It kind of keeps you from doing it. So make the picture looking correct as you go through. All right, so that's our first picture we got on here. So now let's go get another one. So it's the same thing. We're gonna go to layer, add images layer. And where's our TB2? Now this one comes in huge. Okay, picture is really, really large. So we're definitely gonna have to resize this to get it to be a more manageable size. And we'll get it somewhere about like that. And we'll drop it on here. And so this is a start. So this is a basic photo collage, and as I'm looking at this, this kind of isn't really what I envisioned doing. I would feel better actually. Well, let me just get rid of these boxes here. You could use the template if you want to, just to get started. But I think I'm gonna do what I originally thought of, which is use like this whole picture as a background. Let's kill that one. And I'm going to stretch this up, make it to where it takes up the whole area here. And then I'm going to take this other one, this TB2. I'm going to click on this and drag it over here, and we'll put it right here, actually, is where we'll put it. So once it's here, notice it shows up as TB2 and TB1 as these layers here. Now, these layers are actually in an order, meaning like this shows up on top of TB1. So if I swap these two, that picture is going to disappear. It's still there, but it's behind this other image. So if you have things that aren't showing up correctly, that's what's going on. Now, to make this look cool, or how it looked like I want it to look, you're going to have to go to the eraser tool and then erase some of this information out here. So we just have him. So it might be a little hard for you to see because of the background, as complicated as it is. But I'm going to go through and clean this up, so that way it looks like we took some scissors and cut this out of a magazine. And let me just finish erasing this here. When you use the eraser tool, you kind of want to click and hold it down while you're erasing, but at some point in time, you're going to want to let go because you're going to make a mistake. And when you make a mistake, you're going to be kind of frustrated, because what will happen is you'll spend all this time erasing, and then you'll be like, oh man, I messed up. And then when you go to undo, you have a whole bunch to undo. So what that allows you to do, so like I'm going to erase this part here right by his head, and then I'm going to accidentally go down, like, oh, doggone it. So that's an easy fix, just going to undo. But just realize that it would have been better if I would have just erased to, like, say here, and then let go, and then clicked and then erased here and then let go, and then clicked and erased here and then let go. So that way, just in case I get too close, when I do that undo, I don't have to undo 700 times. Right? I don't lose a whole bunch of time that I did. So we've got this image in here. We're looking pretty good with where it is. Now, when you put it in here, it's just sitting there all by itself. What you can do is you could also rotate the image and turn it and put it in a different direction, which I would encourage you to do. Whatever's going to fit your creativity. But what I'm going to look for is a final image that has 10 layers on the right-hand side here. And right now, you only see 2. So when I go to get my next layer, that should be our 3rd layer. Yeah, we're looking for TB3. And again, this takes up the whole image again, so I need to shrink this down a lot. And then once I get it kind of close, then I'm going to go through and hit it with the eraser tool. When it comes to the eraser, by the way, if this eraser is too small, if you want a bigger one, you can go up here to the brush. And currently it's a size 40. We can bump this up to like 100. So we make this a bigger size eraser. So it takes us less time to go through and erase. Just realize that it's going to be stuck on this tool until you change it back to a smaller size. But 100 for this is actually pretty good. Because if your eraser is too small, it'll take you forever to go through and erase all the information around there. And that is pretty close. And I'm good with that. All right, once I have it where I want it here, we're going to scooch it over here and put it somewhere like this. So there's our second picture, and we're well on our way to having the collage of my dreams. Well, not really dreams, but we have collage of Tom Brady is what we'll have. So go through, do this. When you get to your 10 layers, just like anything else, you'll go to File, Save. When you go to save it, the file name, I'll call it whatever it is. And then we'll download this, and then that's exactly what you will upload to Schoology. So have fun with this activity.